Good day, Crime Talk aficionados, and thank you for watching Crime Talk. Let's take a look and see what's on the docket today. First, where is Evelyn Boswell? Who's protecting whom? Second, Lori Vallow' niece supposedly knows where JJ and Tylee are, but she's not talking. Third, Varsity Blues sentencings continue. Fourth, another delay in the Chris Watts foreclosure sale. Fifth, our dumb criminal contestant of the day takes advantage of young Girl Scouts. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch from Crime Talk. And first, thank you for watching. We know that you have lots of things that you could be doing, and the fact that you take time to watch our channel does not go unnoticed. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that little like button and hit that little bell for notifications of when we put out new content or when we go live. First on the docket, where is Evelyn Boswell? Well, this is a weird story, and it seems to be getting weirder as the days go by. Evelyn Boswell is a 15-month-old child that lives with her mother in Tennessee, and her mother is Megan Boswell. What gets weird is that an Amber Alert was issued for Evelyn on February 19th of this year. And of course, like most missing baby cases, people get involved. People get very interested. The town has come together and raised some $58,000 for information leading to the return. The mother of missing Evelyn has a mother, obviously, and her name is Angela. And so it's believed, and now Megan believes, that Evelyn was last with her mother, Angela. What really gets weird is that Angela and another individual were arrested driving a stolen BMW. Apparently, they stated to the owner, who was in fact selling the BMW, that they wanted to buy it. Apparently, nothing was exchanged, no titles, anything along those lines, because the money hadn't come through, so to speak. But they were stopped driving this vehicle just the other day in North Carolina. Angela has waived extradition on her way back to Tennessee. Apparently, she's not giving any indication as to where little Evelyn may be, but mother Megan said that at one point that she believed that the child was in a camper in Virginia. The police have checked out the campsite where mom said the child was and would be in a silver camper, and everything was fine, and it checked out, and there was no child there when the police actually went there. So as of right now, we have Megan, who's now giving interviews with the local news media, telling what a great child Evelyn was. And it's a little unusual in some parts of her stories. But as we know, we're not accusing anyone. We're just simply trying to lay out the facts here. Because as we may recall, in the Faramuska case down in Houston, a lot of people jumped all over the boyfriend, and it turned out he had nothing to do with the case. So we're going to wait and withhold any judgment, just trying to give the facts at this point. But Megan has been giving interviews, and in her interviews, she's talking about how the baby was premature, that she stopped taking a bottle, she was practically walking by 10 months, but then she got really big, even though she was really skinny. And when asked about any of the rumors that she would like to address, she wanted to clarify that although her family identifies as gypsies, that they're good people. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever met anybody who's a gypsy, so I have no reason to doubt that that has anything to do with a missing child. The mother, Megan, and the grandmother of Evelyn, who is Angela, you would think would be all over trying to find and locate the children. And we've mentioned this before, and we're not throwing stones, but we're simply laying out the facts. Most mothers would be looking, searching endlessly for their child. If people appear rather calm and act like it's no big deal that their child is missing, A lot of people may say that that is not normal behavior. But hey, what is normal behavior? We don't know. People react differently in different ways. You take a look and tell me whether you think Megan is being completely truthful.
She loves everybody. She's never been mean ever, which I'm very thankful for. She's just a really good-hearted baby in general. Like textbook how you want a baby to be, like has hit every milestone early, you know what I mean? Well, when she was 6 months old, she actually put a bottle on her own and went straight to a sippy cup. She started walking probably around like 10 months. That was kind of hard though, because she's like not like small as in like underfed, you know what I'm saying, but like she was a preemie when she was born. She's like a smaller baby and she kind of had trouble like balancing her weight, but she finally got the hold of it. She's starting to say a lot of words and, you know, to just bring her back. Look in her camera. I just want her back, that's all I want. I've been so long without her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me, and I just want her back.
Now, she has admitted that maybe she wasn't completely candid with the police, and the police have said that she has presented inconsistencies in her statements to the police, and she's been confronted on those. And she stated that she was perhaps trying to help her mother, but now she just wants little Evelyn back. You take a look at her interview. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Next on the docket, the Lori Vallow case gets more bizarre and more bizarre. We've gone over what we know so far in the previous video that we did just yesterday, laid out a timeline. We've laid out the facts. Obviously, Lori Vallow is in Hawaii. She's going to be extradited back to Idaho to respond to charges of basically neglect and abandonment of her adopted son, JJ, and her daughter, Tylee. Neither one have been seen since September and August, respectively, and basically has failed to produce the children. Miss Vallow has a niece by the name of Melanie Pulowski, and she went through a nasty divorce, and her ex-husband has accused her of having knowledge as to the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee, and that she's refusing to talk to investigators, according to the ex-husband. Now, this all came out in divorce proceedings, and her husband has told law enforcement that Melanie says, quote, "Sometimes children are full of light and then just like they go dark," end quote. Now, obviously, we have to take all the information received with a grain of salt as it comes in, simply because we don't know the veracity of the people providing the information. Obviously, a nasty divorce, it can get ugly. Brandon Bordeaux, the ex-husband of Melanie, claims that his ex-wife was a member of a cult similar to the one that Lori Vallow was said to be in, and he claims that numerous members, adults and children alike, have all been killed off like flies. Now, we talked about the strange number of individuals related to Miss Vallow and her new husband, Mr. Chad DeBell, as it relates to her ex-husband, her brother, and to Mr. DeBell's wife, who died unexpectedly, but had a $450,000 life insurance policy, which will certainly come in handy for paying for Miss Vallow's attorney's fees as her case progresses. The Vallow case certainly does get weird, and like always, everyone is presumed to be innocent until and if they are convicted at trial or plead guilty. Although Miss Vallow is given the presumption of innocence, one could certainly come to a reasonable conclusion that the men in her life are very unlucky, or it's just a weird set of coincidences. We've mentioned this before. There are no coincidences in the world, in my humble opinion, but we shall wait and see what happens to Miss Vallow and the claims of whether she's in fact in a cult. We do know that she claimed to be a part of a religious organization that believed that the end times were near. Saying that that's a cult may be a little bit of a stretch at this point, but we'll see how the facts come out and are developed. Next on the docket, Varsity Blues sentencings continue. There have been some 53 individuals charged in the college admission scandal case that has been brought and is being prosecuted in Boston, Massachusetts. This has completely snared a bunch of celebrities and wealthy individuals as they were trying to do what they could to enhance their children's opportunities to getting into top schools by oftentimes making them appear as though they participated in sports when in fact they did not. And instead of actually getting somebody in a sport or getting them coaches to do better, these parents thought it'd be best to just pay people off so their kids could get this opportunity. We talked about this yesterday when we talked about the cream rises to the top. These parents did not do their children any favors whatsoever because now it completely throws into doubt their ability to succeed and what they have accomplished, even if they did get into school and did just fine. It throws into question whether they actually did it and whether they deserved it. So they'll always have that little asterisk next to their name and always having to prove themselves. These parents did them no help whatsoever. It's a common syndrome. It's called TMM, too much mommy. Parents trying to take care of everything for their kids instead of letting them deal with life's adversity, like not getting into your top pick for college. Like, get over it. It's life. It happens. And these people, most of them are extremely wealthy, could have done anything they could to get those kids in, and they did not. The sentencing that took place today was a former University of Texas tennis coach, Michael Carter, who was sentenced to 6 months in prison for accepting $100,000 in bribes for falsely tagging an applicant as a recruit to get them admitted into the University of Texas. Former Coach Center was the first college coach to receive time behind bars in the national college admissions scandal after a former Stanford sailing coach avoided prison last summer. Mr. Center sobbed and was consoled by his attorney and family for several minutes. His prison term is tied for the second longest in the admissions case. Business executive Douglas Hodge, a parent who paid into this scheme led by mastermind Rick Singer 4 times, totaling $850,000, was sentenced to 9 months in prison. Judge Stearns stated, "I understand your anguish. I know that you're a good man, but this is one of those things that can't be overlooked." Judge Stearns reminded Coach Center that he had pled guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and honest services wire fraud. He also had agreed to cooperate with federal prosecutors in this particular case. And the 6 months was the exact sentence that was recommended by the prosecution. Coach Center will have to forfeit some $60,000, and that's basically the amount that he actually received when all was said and done. Once he finishes his jail sentence, he will have to do 1 year of supervised release, and he has to report to the Bureau of Prisons by April 6th. Obviously, people are really watching this case because Lori Loughlin and her husband have entered pleas of not guilty, and their case is pending. Their case is, frankly, a little more egregious, not necessarily because of the amounts that were paid, but because the lengths that they went to say that their daughters were on the crew team when they've never participated in crew in their life, but actually took photos of them in crew gear. That's the one that's going to be interesting, and ultimately, if they're convicted, to see what the prison sentence gets. One of the principles of sentencing is not only to deter the defendant from ever doing the conduct again, but to deter others who are aware of that individual's conduct in hopes that they won't do it again. This type of situation has gone on for as long as we can all recall. Schools ask on their applications whether parents or family members have gone to their school so they can get legacy status. And if you have enough money, you can usually donate enough to get, maybe a building or a study hall room with your name on it. And they can usually find a way to get somebody in. Even the top colleges have always done this. Let's just cut to the chase. It's about the money. It always was. And they just went about doing it, trying not to get caught because everybody knew it took place. Bottom line. We'll see how these cases continue. Next on the docket, the foreclosure sale of the Chris Watts house in Frederick, Colorado has been delayed yet again. The next scheduled foreclosure date is April 25th, 2020. So whomever would like to bid on that house, that's when you have to be at the Weld County Courthouse to get your bids in. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day, Cameron Ducharme, 36, was taken into custody and charged with forgery and theft, according to police officials in Oregon. What's disturbing about this case is that Mr. Ducharme was taken from the Girl Scouts. Now, don't get me wrong. Who doesn't like the Girl Scouts, right? The good organization. They teach young girls to be strong, independent women. And they teach them about business when they do their little cookie sale. It's a huge thing, right? We've all had to walk by the little Girl Scouts and say, no, I don't want any because I'm trying not to eat a box. I can personally say just the other day, I was going to get the lovely Miss Kristen some coffee, and there was a Girl Scout out there selling, and it was snowing, and she looked so sad and cold and said, would you like to buy some cookies? And all I had was a $50 bill. And she looked at me like, I don't have change. So the next thing you know, I'm walking away with like a box full of Girl Scout cookies so that she didn't have to give me change. Now, is that good marketing? I think it was, yes. But Mr. Ducharme, what does he do? No, I gave the Girl Scout a legitimate $50 bill. Mr. Ducharme gives little Girl Scouts fake $20 bills. Can you believe that conduct? Well, guess what? And it was on video, and he went back and he did it again and was arrested. Rule of thumb, if you're going to cheat somebody with counterfeit money, don't mess with the Girl Scouts. That's all we have today for you on Crime Talk. Have a great day.